ونزلنا الذكر وإنا له لحافظون.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Peace be with you. After time and space and time, we are in the world, and what we find coming from the Quran, and the Quran is talking about this at length, is our relationship with the world around us. And that's essential in our history. The history of humankind is really to get this right from the very beginning, because in fact the last revelation, Al-Quran Al-Kareem, is talking about the revelation around us, about the world around us, that we have to read as much as we read the Quran with in the right way, with the right understanding, and trying to extract or to draw from this relationship with the world the right way of being a human being within the universe. So there is a connection here between the global order and the cosmic order. It's not only a relationship with space and time, it's really the relationship with the reality around you. And what we find in the Quran is a verse that is manifold and with many teachings, and we need to get this when we read it, because it's simple in words and quite deep in meaning. When it is said in the Quran, سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا فِي الْآفَاقِ وَفِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَهُمْ أَنَّهُ الْحَقِّ. We'll show them our proofs, our signs in the horizons and in their own soul, in themselves, until it becomes clear to them that this is the truth. Here there is a journey, there is a way that you have to follow. When you deal with basic psychology, very often it is said that you start with your own self and then you open up towards the world. The last revelation is telling us that our spiritual journey, our relationship to our own psyche, it's going to start from outside, outward, coming inward. And this is the way the outside world, the outward world is going to talk about your intimacy, about your inner world. And here there is an interesting teaching. Our natural way to deal with the world is to look around us and to look at the signs around us, and then naturally we will come back to ourselves. So here what the revelation is telling us, سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا فِي الْآفَاقِ, in the horizon you will get the signs of the presence of God. What does it mean? What do the signs mean for us? In fact, they are, as the book, as the last revelation is telling us, they are ways for us to remember the very presence of God in our life. So in fact, this nature and the species and the beauty of nature, because it's also about beauty, it's also about the order, it's also about everything that we are dealing with here in our life, is to get the signs and to read the world around us, to remember that God is present. God is not within the elements, but He is the creator of all the elements around you. When you get this, it creates a kind of relationship between you and God, and it's all based on remembrance. And the Quran, the last message, it's all about remembrance. And through this journey, you go out, you are naturally outward, trying to deal with the elements, and then you come back to your own self, to your own heart, to your intimate life. And this is where you find the same signs that you find outside. So there is a mirroring reality here, signs echoing the signs within, the signs that are outside. And this is a dialogue which is important. We find this in the Confucianist spirituality, Confucianism, even in Hinduism, in Buddhism, when they are talking about the macrocosm reflecting and mirroring the microcosm, which is in yourself. So this is a very old tradition, and we find this in the Quran, in our revelation, telling us just look at the world the right way. And in the way you look at the world the right way, you will come back to your heart. And through this journey towards your own self, you will find the meaning of your life. So the signs are talking about you, they are talking about God, and they are talking about this relationship. And it's based on dhikr, because in fact, forgetfulness is the first sin, is the first weakness, is the first mistake. We have it in the Quran. رَبَّنَا لَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا إِن نَسِينَا. Don't be harsh with us if we forget, because we are you have created us in such a way that we are very quick to forget. So now Allah, through the revelation, is telling us, now you are on earth. You deal with space, you deal with time, and you deal with the world. And now you have to open up the eyes of your heart to get the signs around you. And through these signs to remember that I'm close to you, I am here, I am around you everywhere, through the signs that I gave you as gifts for you to remember. And then through this, come back to yourself. Think about yourself. Now try and start meditating, contemplating the world as much as you are contemplating yourself. Meditating over the world as much as you have to meditate over your own self. To do what? To know who you are, but not only this. Because at the end of the day, this should have an impact, not only as to the spiritual journey you are performing towards God, but it has to do an impact in the way you behave. And you find this in another verse of the Quran. Remember, and we talked about it already, the Prophet ﷺ crying the whole night when he got the message coming from the Quran. إِنَّا فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ لَآيَاتٍ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. In the creation of heavens and earth, in the alternation of night and day, there are signs for those who are full of insight. So meaning here that the creation around you is talking about you, and the Prophet ﷺ was just crying because it was so powerful that look around you, time and space are talking about the presence of God. But what is important, it is what comes just after the beginning here, this first verse, when we read in the Quran, الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ رَبَّنَا مَا خَلَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا سُبْحَانَكَ فَقِنَا عَذَابِ النَّارِ. Those who remember God while standing and sitting and on their sides, and they reflect, they meditate, they contemplate upon the creation of the heavens and the earth. Our Lord, you did not create it, you did not create this in vain. Glory to you, so protect us from the punishment of the fire. Here you have a connection between this contemplation and something which is also very powerful, because those who remember God standing, sitting, or on their sides, those are the people who in every single situation, because they are connected to the signs of the world and the intimate signs of God's presence close to their heart, they know the very meaning of life. And in fact, they got it right when they say, you have not created this in vain. It has a meaning, and the meaning is that we are going back to you and we will be called into account. So we have to be dignified human being. We have to act the right way. We have to behave the right way according to your principles. So there is a relationship between the signs that are sent to us and the good behavior and doing the good, imposing and respecting the people and resisting the bad. Al-amr bil-ma'ruf wal-nahy anil munkar is the direct teaching, commending the good and resisting the bad. So spirituality and ethics are coming together through this very powerful message that we find in the Quran. It's not easy, but it's our way. This is the way we have to deal with it, and at the end asking God to protect us from punishment, because we understand that the way we thank Him, the way we respect Him, the way we implement His principles based on this spiritual commitment towards the creation around us and towards our own life and our own self, is the way we will respond to the call, to His call, in the right way. Don't forget to tell the people you love that you love them. Life is fragile.
إنا نحن نزلنا الذكر وإنا